What's up, world? Good songs. Odds number one together.
This is
One of the coolest stations in the world.
1873 FM.
I want to find out what it is that you have done for the people of Angola so far. I mean, you want to make a change that you want to see. So, one change, because we can sit here and talk about all the problems Angola has and all the problems Africa has.
I'm not just here to defend badly
Yes, of
our
course.
current government, but we also have some and one of them, talking politically, is that we want to give back what we are calling citizenship to them. What I mean is that in Angola, unfortunately, this is a problem that affects most African countries. If you are not a holder of a membership of the current parties,
Concerning the people are complaining concerning the visa. Put your passport in the embassy. Sometimes it takes 1 month or 2 months for you to get the visa. Once you're in the government, are you going to work on that?
thank you for the question, Mr. Benjamin. What we are seeing is that one can submit his visa application and he can stay for 2 or 3 months. Once, he's a businessman. He has a lot of activities. We also want to change this kind of these bureaucratic ways of treating people who are interested to go in Angola.
Nelly Bolton and Tinashe Basile.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at 1873FM. Hashtag 1873FM.
Well, it is the 1873 FM, and this is the Sunday Show. And yes, tonight, Pacific being the name in the studio with me from Kuchma Dondo. And right about now, on the other end of the line, joined by Miss Florence Mazani, as well as Mr. Muchuma Mawere. And a wonderful morning to you, and thank you for listening to 1873 FM as your channel of choice. Good morning to you, Amitego Makoto. Glad to hear that you're also a part of the show. Florence, a wonderful morning, and Mr. Murray, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us on 1873.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
Well, I'm very well, thanks. It is indeed a pleasure to have you on the other end of the line. And yes, as we continue having these conversations, and particularly each day as we are marching towards this ideal of building our own banks as individuals, and more importantly, the communities where we are connected, where we are equipped through shared experiences, through exchanging ideas. As you look at yourself, Florence, building your own bank, and more importantly, the lessons that you can say you have learned from the conversation that I shared with you yesterday, what would you have to share with our listeners this morning?
Yesterday, what you had to share with me, the first thing it taught me, or can I say what it endorsed in me as a person, was the concept of originality. To say that as an individual, you are a brand, right? As an individual, and you've got something you represent. Could it be a set of values, or could it be something you strongly live by? You need to be authentic, you need to be genuine, and in whatever you do, you need to be yourself.
Okay, so somebody is stating volume, please. So I guess that also speaks to us in the studios that we need to speak up. All right. So the aspect of originality that you as an individual ought to be authentic is one thing that you picked up from the conversation. That is what you learned from the conversation that I shared with you yesterday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, it then goes down to raise the question in as far as how one actually ought to be authentic, how one ought to be original. What is it that it takes? Does one ought need to be perfect? Does do they ought to be always correct in whatever they have to share or say?
That's not quite the point, but it now comes in with, I think, concepts of self mastery and the self image one has. I remember we are all unique, and we do serve a different purpose in this lifetime and in the societies where we come from. So one needs to understand who they are and what they stand for, and be that, and not try to be anything outside of those brackets or borders.
Looking at platform, and
Mr. Moore, can you come back? Can you just take it up from the start? Your mic was muted.
All right, Florence, if you look at the role of radio, you have been on radio. What do you think should be the best role of a radio to permit you to tell your story, or to negotiate a story?
I think the role of radio, the first role of radio, is bringing people together through the sharing of information, be it content in terms of ideologies, be it music or whatever it is, which could bring people together. So the first thing radio does is it does not have geographical boundaries. So people anyway, as long as they've got the frequency, or they know which radio station you are and where to get you, people will connect, people will join in the conversation, right? So radio, it's also comes as a good tool for also networking.
If then, do you think it has the capacity of bringing people together, or
Yes, it does.
that people themselves want to be together? Imagine you have a stadium. Does the stadium bring people together, or the game?
I think both, but in different extents. For an example, the game will bring people together because of the love of the sport, but the stadium needs to be there for the people to have somewhere to actually gather and watch a sport or get involved in something.
Imagine there was no game, and the stadium was there. What would be the purpose of gathering?
No, I get what you're driving at. That's why I said both serve different purposes, but the game does serve a greater purpose to a larger extent, because it's what brings people together.
So do you agree that the game is the seed?
True.
So you can have a seed, you can play ball, you can do everything without even anyone noticing you.
Yes.
And today you can start playing ball, kicking it in your own fashion. And people, you are not playing so that people can come together. You are just playing the game. So if you play it well, others will notice. And some may even go viral.
True.
So, but if you look at it now and say, I've been telling people to come on radio, but there's no game. You think it's fair to ask of others, love something you don't love yourself?
No.
So you must first love to communicate yourself. Hmm?
Yes.
Where is that love?
It's there.
Okay, so now let's talk now about the love for talking. So you got 5 minutes just to say any nonsense that you want. But don't lie about the nonsense. Just talk about things you have experienced. And that way, we can learn from you about things that happen outside radio. Just 5 minutes. Assume you are just talking to yourself, just like a normal story. Don't make it complicated. We want to tell stories, not to argue about stories. But your experience is your experience. Can I correct you?
Yes.
No, because I was not there, so I can't correct you. It's something that has happened to you. So
Or maybe.
anything that has happened to you, you alone can share. But nobody else. So I come to radio just to share my own story or my own gossip. So you got 5 minutes of Florence time.
Okay. I'm not sure where to start from, but I think I'd like to talk about something because I work with people a lot. So I think I'd really like to talk about something which I see is trending or is happening quite often in most of our lives, right? And a bit of it was touched on the audio Tinashe sent to me yesterday, and it quite clicked and connected with a couple of issues I've been, can I say,
Which specific audio? Assume we don't know anything about an audio that is shared.
Okay, it was about being yourself.
And who was the speaker?
I did not quite capture the name, but it was a lady.
But did you ask Tinashe, who is this lady? Or you just said, I'll keep it to myself?
No, I'm still yet to ask.
Okay, why didn't you ask him? And that is the story. That yesterday I received an unexpected audio. And in the audio, there was this woman who was talking about being authentic. And it clicked on me because authenticity is what makes us who we are. It gives me identity. When I just speak about the things that I experienced, yesterday I had an opportunity to listen. When I listened, I forgot to share with others. And when I shared, I forgot to put the title. I forgot to provoke others because I would say, I've just listened to this audio and I think it may be of value to you if authenticity is a variable of importance. Do you see different ways of sharing?
Yes.
Yeah, I take what I have listened to, I add my own property to it, my own ways to it. And I would then say the person in the audio is so and so. And if I know what she does, then I'll say either she's a student or she's a medical doctor, something. Then people want to know who is in there. That's how we create a bank. Because we are now giving voices, identities. Because what she's saying have been said by somebody else. If there's a picture of the person, so much the better. Because people want to see visuals and say, this is what she said. I can take a caption of what she has said. So I'm still telling the story of what happened yesterday.
All right. Tinashe, what was the name of that lady?
It's Tiani Makamu. It's there in the chat that I was having with you.
Okay, it's Tiani Makamu.
Yes.
So how
Okay,
do you spell Tiani Makam?
Tiani is
Sorry?
spelled Tiyaani. The surname Makamu, it's Makamu.
So did you know that Tiani is spelled the way Tinashe says?
Yes, I know the name. I'm quite familiar with the name.
Okay, and where did she say this?
Sorry?
Where did she say this? Whatever she said. Where,
She was on the show.
what-
She was
Which
here on the
show?
show.
Which
The
show?
1873.
So you must
The
then
one
tell
you're
me.
on.
No, I'm saying is assume I don't know. When you are communicating, just assume I.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the content. I don't know the context. What was it all about? Why did she have to say this? So this was in response to something. Is that correct?
Yes.
So somebody asked her to share. And then she then said the what she got from the show. These are things that arose from the show. And she was just summarizing.
Yes.
So you see what the sharing it compels you to do. Assume I'm stupid and you are communicating to me. And what you know, don't assume I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you understand? Because we have someone who pretends to be a writer in the studio. Her name is Florence. Have you ever seen what Taku writes? She threatens when she is trying to what? She says, no, God would inspire me to write. Have you ever heard that saying where people wait for God to inspire them?
Yes, we get inspiration from different places. It could be a spiritual center. We refer to
Not
our spiritual
really.
centers.
They just talk about your experience with your spirituality, Florence. Don't talk about me. When did you last get a visit from the spiritual center? Right now, you're talking yourself. You don't have. You are not going to claim that what I'm saying here is spiritual center.
That's debatable. Hence, spirituality is not a very. It's a complex topic to actually bring out there because we relate to it as a notion differently.
But
So
you are
it's a
now
bit of a touchy subject.
you are now arguing.
No, I'm not. I'm actually supporting what she
No,
says that.
you're not sharing. I've just asked you. Tell me of an instance where spirituality visited you, and now you're arguing.
It's very personal.
That's
And
what.
sometimes
That's
it's
what.
not
I think
personal.
that's what I would love to hear. That personal experience where the spirit actually visited you and caused you to do something.
Something.
It was through a dream, and
No, it's a dream. Okay. Take us to the dream then.
No, actually, it was actually in a dream, and I saw myself actually talking to people. And by that time, I was barely completing my second year, and I was studying something completely different to talking to people, anything to do with social relations. And 2 years from then I had some sort of a deja vu experience to say, oh, so this is what that dream was all about, because it was something so vivid and I felt it. And 2 years later, I found myself in a sort of a similar setup, talking about the very same content I was talking about, dressing people I didn't even know in the dream. So that was my experience.
Oh, that's so that was a dream in short.
Yes.
All right. So do you accept that dreaming is not a visit by a spirit?
Hello, Florence. Okay, it seems like Florence has frozen there for a bit. Hope she will unfreeze and be able to. But nonetheless, as we continue with conversations that matter on the 1873 FM, well, feel free to also add your voice to this conversation. Start to share your personal experience in as far as what it is that you are doing wherever you happen to be, in order to make the next second, the next minute, the next hour, the next day, the next week, the next month, the next year better for yourself. And shortly, we'll be speaking to Victoria Musipa. Victoria Musipa is Managing Director of Magnified Occupational Health, and today it's her birthday. So yes, talking about birthdays. Birthdays are just one of many bridges that bring individuals together, and as the 1873 as members of the 1873 network, or rather, as a member of the 1873 network, I believe that birthday is a bridge to build and build communities. People come together just to celebrate one's birthday, and by using birthdays, to convert our connections to communities. Victoria is somebody I'm connected to on Facebook, but rarely do we actually reach out to one another. But the 3rd of December, which happens to be her birthday, has enabled us to actually to reach out to one another and actually get to know each other better. So yes, stay tuned for more on the 1873 FM coming up shortly on your favorite channel. And on that note, we'll go on a quick break. 1873 FM, your voice, your
What you could imagine.